I see her.
We're a couple minutes early, but we're all here, so let's start the meeting. Lori, can you call the roll, please?
Nicola,
Here.
Crowley here. Fitzgerald.
Here.
Close.
Here.
Stillman. Here. Jennings. Here. Ferrari.
Here.
Bentley.
Here.
Model.
All right, everybody's here. We've had the meeting, you've seen the minutes for the June 12th meeting. Are there any changes or adjustments that you'd like to make? Anybody? Hearing none, they are approved as submitted. Election of vice chair and secretary. The charter says, item 10, the committee shall annually elect its own vice chair and any other officers necessary, and may appoint subcommittees as necessary. So Lori and Pat have indicated they would continue as secretary and vice chair. And I would submit them for an election. So everybody who would like to approve that, please raise your hands. Unanimous, so they are elected. Chair's report. I think that I was reading your report, Jackie. And I didn't know before reading that we have a new golf course superintendent.
Indeed, we do.
This is big news.
Huge.
And I think it should have gone out on Nextel or whatever it is. They do that. Anyway, I guess congratulations to whomever and whoever was involved in doing that. So that's just great. Wonderful.
We're excited.
Yeah.
Really got very fortunate.
And he'll be here Monday and have a 3-day overlap with Blake, so
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when will he start?
Monday.
Monday. Wow, very good. All right.
Yeah.
There are no correspondence and announcements as far as I know. Member forum, we have one speaker, Gary Hunt. Gary, could you see if that's working? And you have 2 minutes to talk. Hello. What's your name and address? Hello.
Okay.
Good morning.
Great, okay.
My name is Gary Hunt, and I've been a member of the Men's Golf Club for 6 years. I have celiac disease. If you're not familiar with this disease, it is a chronic autoimmune disease caused by abnormal response to gluten and protein found in wheat, barley, rye, soy sauce, things like that. My body literally attacks itself if I consume any gluten. There's no cure, and the only treatment for celiac is a lifelong gluten-free diet. This disease is recognized and protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act. I frequently cannot eat meals served in conjunction with golf tournaments here at Rossmore, yet I pay the full entry fee. That includes a meal I cannot eat. For example, at the picnic lunch, it usually includes a sandwich, chips, and cookie. All I can eat are the chips. There have been evening meals served after tournaments where all I can safely eat are the steamed vegetables or mashed potatoes. No protein, no dessert. It's not my idea of a full meal, warranting the full price I paid. I'm speaking here today to ask for one of two things. If no gluten-free meal can be provided, I ask my entry fee to be adjusted so I'm not paying for a meal I cannot eat. I would then have to bring my own meal, which is fine with me. I will say that Twilight tournaments have been very helpful in sending an email prior to the tournament where I can specifically ask for a gluten-free meal. I hope you can consider the process for the men's club, 18ers, and 9ers. As celiac disease affects roughly 1 in 50 people, surely I'm not the only person playing golf in Rossmore in this situation. I think both of these are reasonable accommodations in accordance with the ADA guidelines. Thank you for your consideration.
Gary, yes, to speak your address for the record.
657 Terra California Drive, number 2.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on. And Mr. Bentley.
Okay, just have a few things. The bridges are getting closer and to be seriously considered. And I mean, the design part is getting done in conjunction with environmentalists. They have to put the okay on the bridges after they design them. So it's in the process of doing, and that's still moving along. And as we get a date or something that I can really be more concrete with that, I'll let you know. The food truck's coming along really good, our trailer, and it's getting all hardwired in. I've seen the, electricians in there. They're setting up the inside of it. That should be opening soon, but I just don't have a date on that yet, but that's gonna be coming in and, the people I've talked to, the walker, people walking around, people who are just outside of golf and inside of golf are very excited about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that you use the microphone.
Oh, yeah, I'm
The
sorry.
people on Zoom have messaged me that they
Oh,
can't hear.
Sorry. That is coming. And then, the pickleball courts, they have, the welding has been a little bit more extensive than we thought it was gonna be, and then after it's welded, it has to be inspected. So they're pushing off probably till mid-August before that gets open. That's been another couple of weeks added to it. But it's basically been on inspections and stuff like that that are kind of tying it up a little bit. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the club reports.
That you use the microphones.
Yes,
It's not a new-
moving on to the club reports. Marcia for the 18-holer.
Thanks. We have hundred and 24 members, 19 sponsor is what we had last time. We want to thank Jackie for getting several things done on the courses. Thank you for getting painted the yellow stakes on 14. Big help with the people who are questioning it. And thank you for the new ball washers. I take credit for that. And everybody's, oh, you asked at the meeting. I said, yeah, I asked. So anyway, the ball washers, everybody was excited about it. I thought it would just blow over, but oh no, everybody's been commenting. We had the Nassau tournament yesterday, and actually I came out winning something for the first time. July 16th, we had the blue and red tournament with the barbecue hot dogs and fixings at the picnic area. And some of the men are helping doing all the barbecue. August 6th to 13th, the first and second rounds of the handicap tournament with lunch following. There's only a couple things I have concerns about is for Lancaster or whoever's going to do it is on holes 3 and 18 on the yellow tee box. Right between usually where the balls are, there's a big hole in the ground. And when you look at it, you move it around, it's a pipe or a connection to a pipe. And several people, one lady in the invitational did fall and didn't really bet dearly, but twisted her ankle. So it's in the middle on 3 and 18 on the yellow tee box. There's a big hole that is a pipe, something is there that you can see it. And they could put flags. I guess they try to cut it sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't get caught. Somebody else had a question is who fills in the bridge cart path toll on 14? Is that when we do the cart path reconstruction, fixing it?
There will be contractors coming out to work
That's
on that.
part of that.
It's part of the plan.
And I have a personal question for you. A couple of months ago, you said that they're doing some work like on 3 to shave off the hips so the ball doesn't keep running down.
That's a goal.
That's a goal.
Something in the future.
Oh, future, okay. That was my first question. Thank you. Yes, finished, thank you.
Thank you. Judy for the 9-hole.
And then I know currently have 156 members with 3 social members for a total of 159. And we're very sad to report that one of our members died at a golf cart accident 2 weeks ago. You probably read about that in the newspaper. On July 24th, 3 of the WINGA directors, that's Women's 9-Hole Golf Association directors, played Creekside, and they were checking out Creekside and the rooms in preparation for open day, which is on August 30th, when several WINGA teams will be playing here. There were 109 golfers played in the Jamboree on June 18th on the dollar course. and play was followed by lunch. Coming up in July, there'll be another scramble and the second general meeting. And so we too appreciate new turf that was placed on the gold tee on number 6. The cart path going up to number 7 has a raised concrete slab. And is that in your? Is
Yeah.
somebody check that one? out?
They're aware of it.
Okay.
It's just work that has to be planned by contractors.
Yeah, it when you run over it with a cart, you go, oh my goodness. And so it's been shaved once, but you probably know it needs to happen. I have a question about the rakes in the bunkers. The grounds crew has been putting the rakes in the bunkers with the handles out. And last year we were told to put the rakes in the bunkers parallel to the fairway. So I want to know which is the right way. It seems to me that the grounds crew solution might be the better one, but I don't know. Is there an answer to that?
There is.
So our rule is to put the rakes in the bunker. Maybe they were rushing a little bit. It was easier just to put them out, but we'll let them know that the rakes go in the bunker the whole way.
Okay, with the rakes coming, with the handles coming out of the bunker, they're easier to get, they're easier to spot, and I think they provide less interference, but.
Something we could talk about.
What?
Something we could talk about. Rakes, sir, the rules for rakes are different in every golf course and what USDA recommends and all that. But if we could change that too, as a committee, discuss
I
that.
don't know what other people think about it. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Judy. Pat, for the men's club.
My solution would be get more rakes. There's a lot of,
Well, that's,
we're missing some rakes, it seems. The men's club, currently has 304 active members. That includes 20 resident guests and 3 golf shops. Just a comment here that the RMGC wishes to extend its condolences to the family and friends of Mo Moberly, who died tragically after her golf partner scene. Nice twilight event. Those who knew Mo knew her to be a vivacious and spry woman. Pleasure from life. She was a very nice. Sorry to hear that. July continues to be a busy month with many golf events scheduled. Among these events are the following: home and home with Richmond and Moraga Country Clubs, 9-hole scramble on the Creekside course, Ross versus Moore team competition. Home and away is the Claremont Country Club, home and away at Berkeley, and away at Moraga. The 12-man competitions and 18-hole men's 4-man scramble on the dollar course, and of course our everlasting twilight events. That's what's going on there.
Thank you, Pat. All right, Kurt, for the hackers.
Yeah, thank you. Our current membership is 143. And Laurie, I had in my report, too, so if you could correct that, it's 143. And as of June 30th, we're at 143. And our July event says our scramble is July 18th. Which is actually not full yet, which is not unusual for July. July is usually a slow month, but getting there. And then we have we're just gonna do a simple pizza social afterwards in the fairway room. And that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Jackie, for the management report.
So the golf operations, we are continuing to do well. With the rounds that have been played, we had 7,400 rounds in June. This increase has contributed to the golf course revenue, which is currently 6.5% ahead of last year. You notice our merchandise sales are a little low, 4.9%. A lot of this has to do with what's being brought in the transition with what was ordered. We kind of missed the boat heading into summer and fall, but we will pick up, we will get more merchandise in. And concurrently, On the expense side, that's to the good because we don't have as much merchandise, so it kind of offsets there. As everyone said, June was another busy month with lots of events going on and a couple guest outings, which are always great revenue there. And I'm happy to say that our range picker is now back with a brand new engine. With minimal cost, we had to do a new 3-year lease with just $10 more a month. So we're grateful for that. Beginning August 11th through the October 28th, the Acalanes High School girls golf team will be coming out 2 days a week for practices. They will be Tuesdays and Wednesdays, starting at 3:45 on Tuesdays and 4:15 on Wednesdays. And as Burke said earlier, we are very happy to report that we have a new golf course superintendent, Jim McKenna. He is coming currently from Tilden Park. He comes with a lot of experience. He is from Southern California originally. And we're just really, really excited to have him. And I know there's a lot of requests, things that need to be done on the course. We hope to give him a little time to assess everything that's going on and kick in what his plan will be. But we are well aware of the carts and everything that's happening there. We are having a little party for Blake on Wednesday, July 15th. I sent to all the groups to let people know. We hope the committee will be able to make it. It starts at 1 o'clock in the club room. Okay. And one thing I did leave out, NCGA will be out here. Forget Wednesday, July, get what or August. August, they have to re-rate our golf course. It's been 7 years and it's required by the NCGA. So you'll see a lot. They're going to do both of them. There's going to be 16 people here. Might interrupt your play on a Wednesday, but it's something that has to be done. And they look to have the changes made, even with 18. They won't be able to correct 18 without being here for whatever we do. And new ratings come January 27th.
So then you need to print new cards, right?
Right. If it changes at all. We'll see.
What date was that? Wednesday, what?
You do not have an event on our calendar. I can't remember the exact date. I will report that.
It's this coming Wednesday?
No, it's in August.
Oh, in August, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my report.
All right. For the superintendent.
Okay. From Blake. Good news with the water, due to the cooler weather in June. The amount of water pumped from irrigation reservoir through June 2026 is about 300,000 gallons less than last year at this time. During June, are able to apply fertilizer that also contains an herbicide that will reduce clover populations on most of the golf course areas. The fertilizer is applied as a maximum rate. Supply issues have delayed completing the application on the entire course. Only the tee areas, driving range, and green on Creekside course remain to receive the application. And I would love to take the credit for the ball washers and all that, but it really was Blake that put out something like that. And they have installed sod on the bare areas on the gold tee on 6-hole of Creekside. With the help of the outside contractor, we were able to complete the restoration of the irrigation system at the 18th green on Dollar Ranch. And the service roads on the 8th tee and 16th hole on Dollar Ranch have been regraded by an outside contractor. Outside contractor is currently installing headboards on many of the tees where turf reduction took place a few years ago. New bunker sand is being added in the bunkers that were renovated 6 to 8 years ago. And he states in there the raised concrete on the paths throughout the golf course. We're going to need to take care of that through a contractor too in the future.
Question regarding the bunkers. Are they making an effort to fix the sprinklers so that they don't sprinkle the bunkers?
They are. The sprinkler heads are a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of them.
Do you have any idea of where we are in that progress, in that?
I will check with Blake before he leaves to get an
Yeah.
answer to that.
And then one other thing regarding the bunkers, the sand in the practice bunkers doesn't really match the condition of the practice bunkers doesn't really match the actual condition in the bunkers on the course. So in a sense, it's pointless to practice in the practice bunkers because the conditions you face on course are different.
It's the same sand he puts in.
But there's this, doesn't seem to be very much sand in the practice bunkers.
It has, I think that a lot of water gets in there. It gets a lot of use. Sand gets thrown out, gets in that face, gets pushed back. It's constant. So it's gonna, the feel and the grain is gonna be different because it gets so much use. We constantly have to fill that bunker.
You do.
There's a lot of people and sand just gets thrown.
Yeah, sure.
And then the turtles bury their eggs in there.
You got turtle eggs because then we wouldn't be able to use them at all.
That's right.
They don't know.
But I'll ask Blake before I do that.
Some environmental committee.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
We have no unfinished business. Oh, wait, Margot,
Yes.
do you want to report now or as part of the item A of the marshal's report under new business?
Whichever,
Why don't you go ahead and
Okay.
do it right now then?
all right, we had, thanks to Ann and Jackie, we were able to get together. I think all of you heard about the incident that happened a couple of weeks ago where we had a very belligerent gentleman who made it very difficult for the marshals to do his job. So we thought it would be a good idea because we have found an increase in negativity, if I'll put it that way, on with people who are walking on the golf course, not playing. And we wanted to get some ideas on how we can not mitigate it, but redirect some of that either anger or response. Jackie and Ann, the other thing that we were dealing with was the 4th of July. We scheduled 2 marshals and Ann was instrumental in getting the cones to block off the first tee box area. So we didn't have to deal with cars coming in and trying to park there during the 4th of July festivities. And at the meeting, right after that, we dealt with the Tom Cashin came, who is the director of public safety. And we had a really good discussion about how the marshals should approach situations where you have a pretty good idea, they're not starting off to be positive, and it's pretty obvious when people with their body language are ready to trying to change our minds on whether or not they should be leaving when they're walking. And Tom and Jackie, excuse me, set out some guidelines, if you will, and I can send this out to people. I don't know if you even want it, but Tom's position is that there's sort of 3 stages to this. One is the first part of this is as we approach somebody, we ask them to leave. This is related to walkers who should not be on the golf course. And any other kind of situation. We're the ambassadors to the golf course or to the golf clubs. And we want to set a really positive example. So we're not coming in like we want people to obviously obey and you're doing something wrong. A lot of times that they're new people, new residents who really don't know that they can't walk on the golf course. And especially when there's not a lot of action happening on the golf course. So the first approach is to say, are you aware that there's no golfing on, or no walking on the golf course today, only on Monday? If that doesn't work, the next is to tell them that it is not appropriate, that they need to leave and they're violating a rule, and that there could be disciplinary action. And this is if it escalates. People can lose, excuse me, can lose the amenities in Rossmore, and they can be defined by Rossmore Walnut Creek, our overarching governing body. That's the sort of the most extreme. And especially it really helped our marshals realize that even with golfers who are habitually not obeying the rules, if you will, like, for example, on this, the seventh hole where the maintenance road comes in, we are continually telling people that that's a maintenance road, that the golf carts need to be parked up on the tee box area. And we have habitual offenders. And so if it comes to that, we're gonna be documenting the habitual offenders and working with Jackie, who will kindly send out some letters warning people that they could lose their golfing privileges. And it's a little harder than we used to be, a little in terms of being aware of and using that pardon me, road. Oh, no, not using the road, but using not the threat, but the discipline, yeah. Using discipline instead of just telling them and then going on and seeing it keep happening. The last one is the kind of situation we ran into a couple of weeks ago. And it was stressed to us that if we are feeling threatened, if we are feeling totally uncomfortable in the situation, that's the time to either to call Securitas or the pro shop. And Jackie has stated that during the session that they are more than willing to come out and help at any time. Which was really refreshing to hear, and I thank you so much. That gives the marshals some security. And Tom indicated that the Securitas will respond, and that's sort of the first level of interaction with an outside body. If the marshals are feeling really threatened in the situation, that we're encouraged to call 911 if we have to right away. We don't, in terms of the conversation, it was really a last resort, but if they're feeling really uncomfortable or threatened. So all in all, I think the session went really, really well, and Jackie, you can add to it if you like. I think everybody walked away feeling really supported and having some new tools in their toolbox. To be able to address the issues that come up. But we are also stressing that we really are the ambassador and we need to be the positive face of the on the golf course. So we encouraged all of our marshals to be sure to say hello to people as we're going through and riding around to make sure everybody knows that we're there. The other thing that Tom indicated was our not uniform, but it helps just psychologically if you're addressing someone to have a badge. We talked about also getting another garment like a jacket or a hat that clearly shows we're a marshal. And we're going to upgrade the marshal sign in the golf cart to accommodate that also. Yeah.
With one question on hole 7. I think I was told that we could use the path, the road, maintenance road, as long as we could stay on it. We went up to the end where the goal tees is. That's
Correct.
is that
Yes.
okay?
The issue is parking there. And when you've got a golf cart parked on the maintenance road and a golf cart parked where it's supposed to be parked, and that foursome or the people that are playing are on the green and a maintenance vehicle comes. And a lot of times you'll have a ball that's like 2 feet off the maintenance path, but it's in the middle. Parking there to hit the ball and then get in the cart and move it is perfectly okay.
I know, I do that.
I'm gonna make sure I'm right.
But somebody told me.
You're on my list now. No, just kidding.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh,
Oh, Jackie, did you have anything to add?
No, you did great. I think it was important that players on the course know that also the marshals are also residents. And they are there to help, and everybody thinks they're there to discipline them. And they're really not. And that's really important that people understand that. Like, Chuck said it perfectly. Sweet Marva, everybody knows Marva, right?
That would be nice, 90-degree Marvin.
Chuck said, I always thought she was picking on us because she would follow. And he goes, I realized as a marshal, she was actually helping us. So that went a long way with him saying that. It's not an easy thing to do, to be a marshal and an ambassador.
Has there been something in the newspaper, in that section where they have golfer tips from the golf club or a golf shop? There's a weekly article.
So I asked the marshals to write up.
Are you gonna do that?
And we'll.
Yeah. So everybody knoes that. You just don't go down and start duking it out with somebody. who's a marshal.
Who knows?
If you are interested in this, I could reach out to Ann Peterson, our communication director, to see if she might do a feature just on the marshals, because just to remind people really what their role is and what it isn't. Because I think that might help and to make people aware of their own, like be a little bit more mindful when they're on the golf course, of their own behavior. Whether it's walkers or whether it's players, I think it might be we could thread that into the article a little bit.
Good idea.
And Jackie also talked about the articles that they put in, the staff puts in the newspaper. That one, like for the 7th hole, little reminders of what the etiquette and what the rules are in those articles, and that'll help too.
Yeah, that'll help the golfers who are doing that.
Right.
The other people wouldn't be reading that because they're not golfers, probably. So.
True.
And
So, this problem with the people walking on the golf course is not just a golf course problem. This is a Rossmore problem. There's a lot more anger going on now. It's starting for me to feel like it did during COVID when everybody was locked up. And we felt it so much that we started a civility task force, ad hoc committee to try and figure out and try to get stuff going. I know that Ann Peterson has a lot of those articles that we produced before that they're just in general talk about being nice to everybody, and doing the right thing. Because this isn't just something that's happening on the golf course. This is off the golf course too. If anything is, if somebody gets their cheese moved from this spot to this spot, all of a sudden we get 1,000 letters on what is going on. Why are you doing that stuff? And it wasn't, the tone of the letters weren't ever as angry as they are now. If you read the residents forum, it's starting to feel pretty angry in there about everything. And this is coming back to, I remember how it was during COVID. So I think that we need a reality check all the way across Rossmore about what is really important. What do you really have to deal with, and how to be nice to everybody and respect everybody. Because there was, at that time when we were doing that, you took your life in your hands to cross in a crosswalk. And now you can stand at a crosswalk and people will stop their cars and it's kind of like, it's just a whole new thing, but that was a carryover from that time of one of the pluses that came out of it. So I think maybe we still have those articles. Maybe it's time to start running some of those civility articles again, just to, in general, affect everything in Rossmore, which will affect the people and show them respect for everybody else. They won't walk on the golf course because they know they're not supposed to.
Right, thank you. I'm going to move up the item under new business for the charter and basic parliamentary overview so that Deborah, who's here, can get back to work. Go ahead, Deborah.
All right.
Oh, here.
Okay, thank you. My name is Deborah Rose. I'm the Senior Manager of Executive Services. So I really support the board and the general manager. And each year on an annual basis, I go around to all of the committees and really give a refresher on your charter and some basic parliamentarian motions and moves. So without further ado, your golf committee charter. Purposes and responsibility. So you are at the utmost an advisory committee to the Rossmore Walnut Creek board about golf play within Rossmore. Your advisory to the Director of Golf, now head golf, Jackie Vigil, about playability of courses. This is a level of service. Scheduling of golf events, playing rules, clothing rules. Additionally, appointment of golf course marshals, as you've already appointed Margot Dutton. Regular reporting to the RWC board on the number of resident and guest rounds played. So all of these reports that you speak to today and your previous meetings, they're in the packet for the board at the end of each month. And Burke Ferrari or Pat Iukulo, the vice chair, reports out to the board of any of the interactions or revenue, number of resident guest rounds played, all of that information to the board each and every month. Importance of following the charter. So the charter really serves as a foundational document outlining the purpose, scope, authority, and procedures. These really do follow compliance with legal standards. So we have the Brown Act, which ensures transparency and public involvement in meetings of local legislative bodies. The Corporations Code, which specifies rules regarding the governance of advisory committees. And the benefits to adhering to the charter is really maintaining consistency and compliance, ensures all committee activities align with the established regulations. It promotes transparency and accountability. So this, as you follow your purpose and scope, it's clear to the public when they want to know if I want to join the golf committee or its members, what is our purpose and scope when you're deliberating on an actionable item to the board. These scopes are really helpful for you to know. It facilitates orderly and efficient meetings, enhances stakeholder trust and participation. So following the charter helps maintain consistency and adherence to legal standards, ensuring the committee operates within its defined scope and authority. Any questions on your charter? No. I will go on to the basics of parliamentarian procedure. Many of you have been in the golf advisory committee meetings. Quite often, you know the basic parliamentarian procedures, but I'm also going to be presenting about the importance of publishing the committee agendas and adhering to agenda item requirements, which are also very important. So this is two parts. So you'll learn some basic principles for the use of parliamentary procedure. When they are remembered, the meetings will run more smoothly and business will take place. So why do we use parliamentarian procedures? Well, for first, it's required by our RWC bylaws. It's written in them. To facilitate the transaction of business, to promote cooperation and harmony. So there is a code of conduct, right? To ensure that all members have equal rights, privileges, and obligations. And that's really where the quorum comes into play, so that if there's not enough members, those that aren't there have an opportunity to speak at the next meeting. Ensure the majority has the right to decide, but the minority has rights which must be protected as well. The role of the chair. So Burke has some responsibilities. He's a committee member, but he also has additional duties. Yay, Burke.
Great.
He calls the meeting to order, maintains order and decorum, ensures adherence to the agenda, and he adjourns the meetings. You know that you can address the chair by simply saying, you know, I like to speak. You can raise your hand or you speak aloud, and you only speak when you're recognized by the chair. And really debating guidelines or deliberation, you focus on the subject, not the person. So there might be a contentious item on the table or brought up that maybe you don't agree with and you're angry about it, but you're focusing on the subject matter and not the person who's speaking on it. Respectful language only. So that's just simple decorum. Making motions. So a simple procedure for handling motions is to obtain the floor by raising your hand or speaking into the microphone. State the motion clearly, and it requires a second. So if there's no one who seconds the motion fails. But once it's seconded, it's open for debate. Even if you don't agree with it, maybe you want to have an open debate, so you second the motion. So if again, it's on the table now for everyone to discuss. A committee or body may only consider one primary actionable question at a time. No other business can be considered until the primary motion has been disposed of, so they can be passed, failed, referred, or withdrawn. So amending a motion is really, there's three options. You can, if someone makes a main motion such as, I want to spend $500 on hot chocolate for the Golf Pro Shop each year, someone can amend that by striking out any word in that sentence and replacing it or inserting a new phrase. So I'm going to amend that motion and say I want $50,000 for hot chocolate from Golf Pro Shop. And there has to be a second. It requires a second and is open for debate again. It could fail if someone doesn't second that amendment. And then the motion goes for a full vote to be passed. That's how you amend a motion. Common mistakes are if someone reporting out on the items such as staff about the actionable item, and they really talk about the recommendation that they're bringing forward, and another committee member says, so moved. It's easy because the person before you who spoke just said that full motion beautifully for you, and it's really easy to say so moved, but we really do need, as the person making the motion, to repeat the motion in full. And then there has to be a second, of course, restating that. And it's really helpful for Lori Krell as well to get that full motion down. She wasn't prepared to write all of that down when someone says so moved. So it's helpful if you restate that full motion. So this is a typical agenda, and all of you, I'm sure, have already gone on Assembly and look each time the meetings are published, that the typical meeting agenda has a call to order, approval of minutes, a members forum, reports from officers and committees, unfinished business, new business, and adjournment. So you'll see that basic format. The Golf Advisory Committee has quite a few exceptions. You have your club representative reports, you have your directors reports, the superintendents, and the golf marshals report. So those are just a few additions to the basic format that you have. All right, so now we're going to part two. Importance of publishing committee agendas and adhering to agenda item requirements. So this is very important to ensure compliance with RWC policies, legal standards, and to maintain transparency to both the committee and to the public. It's essential that committee agendas are published for public review. And legally, we have to do it 4 days prior to the meeting, and that's days, not business days. So that all meeting agenda items are included in advance to the public. The following outlines the reasons based on RWC policies, the Corporations Code, the Brown Act, Robert's Rules of Orders, and our bylaws. So RWC policies, we have a policy 201.1, advance notice of meetings. This really mandates that a summary of the proposed agenda for regular meetings be published in advance. Announcements of these meetings should be consistently published in the Rossmore News as well. So your meetings are posted in the Rossmore News each month and on our website on myrossmore.com. This is to ensure that all stakeholders are informed. Policy 201.4, open committee meetings. This is for the member forum. So in order to have an active public recipient and conversation, the go-between, while we're following this policy 201.4, it allows individuals, when you publish the meeting in advance, to know if there's anything that they'd like to speak on. And it also helps the committee members, right, to hear from the committee itself, the residents themselves, if they have any questions or concerns that they'd like the committee to address. Corporations Code. So there's an overarching corporation code that requires the public notice of meetings to be given to ensure everyone involved have the opportunity to attend and participate. This promotes transparency and accountability in governance. The Brown Act mandates that local legislative bodies such as the Golf Advisory Committee in California conduct meetings openly, providing advance notice of meetings and agendas. This is ensuring that transparency that we need to provide to the public and to the committee. And Robert's Rules of Order. So according to our bylaws, we have to follow Robert's Rules of Order as we learned earlier in this presentation. So only items listed on the agenda can be discussed during the meeting. This ensures that meetings are orderly, focused, and that all members have the opportunity to prepare for the topics to be addressed. The bylaws, as I had stated, require that agenda items be publicly listed to maintain transparency and provide a clear structure for meeting discussions. This prevents off-agenda topics from disrupting the meeting flow or leading to unprepared deliberations. So strict agenda adherence. So items not on the agenda cannot be discussed. If there are no items for discussion on the agenda, so that if there's no unfinished and there's no new business, the only discussion would be for items for the next meeting and an adjournment. You can cancel the meeting in work during the draft agenda process if he knows that there's no unfinished business and no new business and there's nothing that can be discussed. He can cancel the meeting so that the committee members can go about their business without having nothing to discuss. But absolutely, you guys can discuss items for future agendas. Any questions? Yes.
Deborah, thank you for this presentation. Just one question that I have regarding the publishing of the agenda for the public's consumption. Unless the public is aware of Simply, I don't know where else these meeting agendas are published.
Oh, yes. So on a quarterly basis, the Rossmore News provides an overview about Simply. And it goes into deep instructions, start to finish, how to navigate Simply, what Simply is, and how to get a hold of it. There's also numerous articles in the paper. Every Wednesday, there is a section about the RWC meetings, and it is a link to Simply. On myrossmore.com, there's a whole section about how to get to the RWC meetings. It provides the meeting date, time, location, and Zoom links, as well as blue buttons on how to get to the meeting agendas, minutes, and member form.
So we're expecting the public to use Simply.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We encourage everyone. It's a public site, so anyone can go on this, and that's where we focus all of our agendas and minutes.
I've not had a problem with that simply because we use Simply, but I'm just curious as to how many of the public.
Unfortunately, Simply itself doesn't have statistical or metrics-based options to analyze how many people view it. However, the Rossmore News has the website, and there are touch-based statistics, and I don't know what those are right now.
I have a question. Under the new software for the Rossmore, where you go to My Rossmore, you go to My Rossmore, one of the options that comes up is I believe it's committee, RWC committees. And if you click on that, it bypasses, or you don't have to log into Simply. I think it comes right up.
You're right to the meeting.
Goes right to
It does.
Simply.
And then you can see the agendas, so you don't have to know how to get on to Simply.
That's helpful.
Yeah, but I'm not sure everybody knows that.
Well, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, thank you for setting it up that way.
I would have to defer to and thank Javier Roman, our web-based analyst that works for the Rossmore News.
Yeah.
He said it.
Right. Yeah.
In my imagination, or weren't also the agendas at one time, or maybe still are posted outside the office?
No, so the agenda is posted outside of the counseling services office at the Gateway Clubhouse. Are the mutual board office agendas So HOAs have different compliance requirements than non-HOA, which that's the RWC governance portion. So their requirements have to have hard copies and public view. Ours is public accessibility, which is in the newspaper and in Assembly. So that's where we're compliant. Anything else?
All right, thank you, Deborah, very much. Appreciate it. We'll see you again next year.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on, the last item left now on new business is the placement of the coffee cart, or I guess it's now being called food truck, in the golf cart parking area. Go ahead, Kurt.
I'd like to speak on that, please. As somebody that's been run over by a golf cart in the parking lot, I want to speak to this positioning of this food cart. We're now inviting people to step out into the parking lot as they're ordering and getting their food. That is a huge liability for both Rossmore, the golf club, the restaurant, because it's not a matter of if somebody will get run over there. It is a matter of when somebody will get run over the way this is positioned. And so I'm strongly advising that they reconsider the way this is sitting. So people are not invited to be out in the golf. When I got run over, I was told that I was out in the parking lot on my own. I had no business being out in the parking lot, basically. So nobody had liability except the person that ran over me. However, they did mention that if for some reason you're invited out to the parking lot and get run over, it's a whole different ballgame. So I really feel strongly about this, and I really feel like it's a mistake out there.
All right, Alan, please.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on that same issue. Wednesday, we had a home and away, and that was our home day. And I worked as an ambassador helping move the golf clubs from the parking lot, the event center over to the driving range. And it's just chaos because carts are moving all over the place. We have members bringing their cart in and backing them up and getting them in situated. We've got the pro shop with their carts. People are walking all over the place. They're hitting golf balls. And we're going to inject, because where that cart is, you're going to inject non-golfers in the middle of the parking lot. And that is just a disaster waiting to happen. And I don't know why the decision was made to put it there, but it really, really, truly needs to move before somebody gets hurt and the liability issue shows up.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, thank you both for echoing what I was about to bring up as well. But I think I want to offer a solution. It's not an item that's not without cost. Unfortunately, that coffee cart or lunch cart or whatever has proceeded and been hardwired down to make it work. And it's close to being finished, according to what I just heard earlier. But I had a brief conversation with Jackie and suggested there is a small putting green right off Stanley Dollar that's hardly used by the golfers. Occasionally it is used when we have an overflow of people, but it's it's convenience as far as I'm concerned. That putting green, as long as I've been here, is hardly used. My suggestion simply would be that to use the base of that putting green, put some pavers down that you can buy at Home Depot, and I'm oversimplifying this, so forgive me. You can move that cart on top of those pavers, use the paved area then in front of the cart on that green to become a little sitting area so people don't wander off into the area where the golf carts are. They can purchase their goods, they can sit there, they can have coffee, they can watch the golfers and do what they want without coming into a dangerous situation. So I suggest strongly that we ask or make a motion, if I can, that we have someone look into the possibility of doing something like that.
Ms. Motola.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Cause I have a question for you about that putting green. And just really to look at a solution, something that's really a good solution, because there are many times when there's a lot of chaos in there. And anything that we can do to organize it, provide more organized parking and flow for the golf carts would be a benefit, right? So I do have a question about that. If that putting green is something which could be utilized for something else, would you be open to having a couple of different options brought to the committee on what we could do with that? I mean, because really, I mean,
I certainly would be willing to listen to anything that comes up. I think it's Jackie that really has to make a conscious
I
decision.
know where she is on it, but we would come to the committee anyway, and so we're working on some
Certainly.
conceptual things.
Certainly, if
But
it's,
didn't want to touch any of the amenities. unless-
certainly
yeah.
if it alleviates and eliminates a safety issue, which we are now
Yeah.
finding ourselves into, heading
Okay.
into real quickly, I would think it'd be silly not to look into.
Well, I have a question. Why was the food truck placed anywhere near the golf activity?
I will tell you, it was done in consultation with Mark. We literally psyched it.
Did Mark know that the food truck could look like what it is?
We absolutely described what it was, so he knew exactly what it was. And I'll let you know, there is a service window that serves onto the sidewalk, not to the parking lot.
No,
And so
no.
Yeah,
that little window up there,
There is small
There
window
is.
on the side.
there's two service windows.
Yeah.
There are two service
Oh,
windows.
I'm sorry.
So, I mean, so they have the option to kind of readjust. I'm not saying I don't want to look into other solutions. But I'm just saying, just so you know, they have the ability to change the direction of how they serve based on what's happening.
I've heard that Mark, that's the answer. Well, Mark approved it before he left.
But he
He's
did.
not here.
He's a.
But this is part of the issue.
I just have a hard time. Believing that he would do that, would put that truck, let's call it a truck. Right in the middle of the parking lot for the driving range. Why don't we put it over at the event center?
Why not use the restaurant?
Why not put it, no. I mean, why does it have to be, it's not golf related, really.
It is.
It is.
Sorry.
No.
Marcia.
Oh, this is, like you brought up, there is another window first thing, and my suggestion, easy thing, before you go too much, is if we flip the truck, so that window is on the sidewalk. You don't have to get in them, you don't have to get in them.
I appreciate the ideas about flipping the truck. We need to look at a whole
Yeah, I'm
solution.
just saying, maybe a temporary thing. The other thing is, another point is, let me say, is, getting away to that putting green. I don't, if he doesn't fit there, the ladies on Thursdays and everything, they use that putting green. We use that putting green a lot. And then even on Saturdays, yeah, when they start off, there's a whole lot of ladies that use that putting green before they go off on Thursdays.
Ellen,
Yes, I'm not sure about the use of that putting green. I don't see a whole lot of people using it. To me, that may be a potential solution. Although it'll be an ugly eyesore for when you're looking at the restaurant from the street and that thing sitting in the on that putting green. Another solution maybe is in the circle drive around. There's a dirt area there that it might be able to sit there and people can grab their coffee and then sit up on the patio and enjoy it. Unfortunately, that's going to cause a little bit of money because you have to redo the electrical and the water source.
That's
but-
not an option.
Okay, but it's not an option? Well, I thought we were looking for solutions, but
Well,
just throwing it out.
but this is something that we're kind of, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's a lot of cars. It's organized chaos, and I get that, because that's what happens. So there are ways to organize it. We've been working with a traffic engineer, trying to figure out the best way to actually allocate, changing the way they set up, where they stage the rental carts. So we're kind of looking at a whole system solution. That doesn't really change too much, like how close you are to the pro shop or anything, but we're trying to look at the way we organize the space, right? So instead of it just being a bit more freestyle parking, we're seeing how many things we can get based on what we know the need is. So we're working right now on that.
Our concern is that you have people walking through that parking lot and you can stripe it, do whatever you want, but you're gonna have people driving carts, backing up carts and people, pedestrians walking to that coffee cart. And that is a disaster just waiting to happen. Guarantee it's gonna happen.
Is this, is this in response to some, survey that was put out a couple years ago? People want extra places to get morning coffee.
I'm gonna let Ted speak to that, because as a board member and a person on that committee, I think that's important.
Yeah, the survey, this is a direct response to coffee. There's a number in the food survey that came out. They wanted at people, the members of Rossmore. So we got a lot of them that don't golf. Got about 7 or 8% of Rossmore that golfs, and the rest of them are non-golfers. Have said that they want coffee, and they want coffee in multi-locations. Actually, there's 3 locations in Rossmore that they wanted, and one of them is right in the same area where the trailer is. It might not be the trailer, it could have been, but that's what they wanted. They wanted to be able to have a coffee shop there. They want one at Gateway, they want one up at Hillside. So this is during the survey. So we're looking for the future as to where all these are gonna go. But while we were opening up the restaurant, this was part of what we required the restaurateur to do, is to satisfy the need at the golf area, or the Creekside area, I should say, for that kind of a facility for all of Rossmore. So that is the reason why this is the first of 3 that I know of that are gonna be in Rossmore.
Is it meant to be open only at certain hours, like in the morning?
Not
All
that I
day
know
long?
of. Not,
All day long?
yeah, could be, I don't know.
Well, what's wrong with having the restaurant available?
Thank you.
Why do we
It's
need
a-
another restaurant?
So it's really important when we have a contract with a restaurateur, they define the business operation. If you're gonna open the whole restaurant, that's different staffing, it's a different type of a impact to the business model than what they've already built and designed and the board has approved. So everything is contractually defined, and when you have somebody that's in there, we don't have any authority to tell them the methods and means of how they build their business. That's up to them to build their business. We give them space to operate in.
My understanding also is not just a coffee shop. It's gonna be sandwiches, quick give and go, croissants, whatever you want. But a lot of people are really talking about, great, I could come and get a sandwich before I go play golf. I was also thinking of pickleball people. Maybe they will be using it a lot too, so maybe there's another solution. If they go play, they want to sit around and talk and then get their sandwich and thing.
We could,
So that I know it is a lot of, people are really looking forward to grabbing a sandwich. I mean, with the golfing, I say my golfing people. Getting a sandwich, sitting down with your friends, not having to go through the dining room necessarily to get something too, not just coffee.
Yeah, the desire was grab and go.
Yeah, that was part of the survey also. There was also talk about putting a portable cart on the golf course for people, and this is in lieu of doing that, I meant a food cart traveling around with drinks and sandwiches and stuff like that. This is in lieu of that. There was a big section within the food survey that the golfers wanted to be able to get some food that they could take out on the course with them. So this was kind of like trying to figure out how we're gonna fix all of those things at the same time. Not so much now. If I would grab a coffee now, but when I play in the winter, I always had to do something about coffee in the morning because it's cold out there. So this was a thing for the golfers also that we were thinking about doing.
yeah,
I'd just like to say, there are a lot of issues here. But the overriding issue is the safety. That is something, if I may suggest, we do not let die. This is an important issue. The placement of that coffee cart, unfortunately, as I said, has gone on where it's now been connected and it's gonna cost. There's a dollar value, well, but nonetheless, putting that aside, there needs to be a different solution, whether it be traffic, whether it be moving the cart, whether it be something. Prior to that cart opening for business, something has to be decided of how we're going to conduct it, because as Kirk says, it's not only an accident waiting to happen, it is going to happen. And it's going to happen soon. So I really suggest we focus on this thing. If we want to have a separate committee meeting or something like that to discuss this, throw suggestions out.
No, but I think we understand the suggestions. We're trying to come up with a whole solution. Other than that, it's like, oh, we've heard this, we're going to try to find a whole solution to address the safety, but Band-Aids don't work. We need a holistic approach.
Who's we?
I'm working with my traffic engineer right now on it.
So so your solution right now is redirect traffic.
I'm not going to simplify it here. So here's part of the issue. These are complex. It takes a while to figure out what we can and can't do, what areas we can and cannot use. So I'm going to be working on different plans on how we can the easiest way to say it, we need to organize the use of that area. One of the things that happens when we go through these, it's move my cheese, right? When we do these projects, like everything gets impacted, right? It's that ripple effect. We can't seem to make one change without everything getting disrupted. And it's really not the intention. And we don't do it blindly. And we understand the safety issue, but we know our operator and he's not going to open if there's like this madness. This is why he does have that other window that opens onto the sidewalk, right? So there are already things there that are built in. Can we do better? Absolutely. So when you look at the use of it, my basically impression of all that since I started working here, before we knew there was a food service, is that really can be organized a lot better there, the flows, because it is dangerous even without them. Because when you really look at what people are reacting to, you have this trailer that's there and people are already reacting to just the trailer there. When that's taken up it's really taken up like, a couple of golf carts. So I think we're anticipating something without saying, okay, let's find solutions. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to solution it, to organize it with the interests of safety and trying to be compatible with the uses. So that's what we're working
I
on.
think it's true that the first reaction was that cart is taking over golf cart spaces. But that's that's gone away as far as I'm concerned. The safety issue is the public.
Oh, I appreciate
The
it.
general public is walking in there. I witnessed it. There were two women walking there the other day that thought that cart was open. And they walked right through into the golf cart area where carts were going all around, paid no attention to those carts. Thank goodness, they weren't hit. But nonetheless, the general public is being invited to come into an area where they can get hurt. That's it in a nutshell.
Alan,
Yeah, I would like to invite whoever is doing this study and is working with you on this,
We're doing it internally and we've been down there.
whoever. But be there during either when we're hosting a home or even Twilight. Twilight's another circus that'll go on Friday. It's a mess. And in that area, if you go and observe that, you'll see right away that car cannot open on the side of the driveway. They're gonna have to open it on the other side. Otherwise, somebody's gonna get killed. It's just a matter of when. It's not if.
thank you. Yeah,
So I think that Ann's approach is really good on this. One thing that maybe the cart is being there is a good thing, is getting us to look at a lot of different things. But one of the things we haven't talked about is everybody drives golf carts here. When you're on a golf cart, you have a path, right? Then you drive out to your ball, you come back. Everybody kind of knows what they're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do when you drive your cart on the street. Pretty much. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. They get in the parking lot and all of a sudden it's a free-for-all. You have people who are coming off of 18 who decide that I want to clean my cart. And you have 5 carts that say, I want to clean my cart. And then the carts can't get in the driveway because they're blocking the driveway now because I'm not going to the pro shop. I have to make a little left-hand turn here so I can clean my car. And so you're kind of like, are you going to let me in or what? Then you pull into the parking lot and you have someone who hasn't seen anybody in an hour and has to stop in the middle of the parking lot, and they line up their golf carts and start talking to each other between their golf carts, and you're thinking, how do I get in here? So this happens, I don't think I'm saying anything that anybody doesn't know. And then Twilight is a zoo with nothing marked. I come off the course at about 2:30, 3 o'clock on a Twilight. And you're pulling up by the putting green, and all of a sudden, it's a wall of golf carts. And now I'm thinking, I should have turned early or gone through the parking lot and gone around. But now I can't back up because I got 4 cars behind me trying to figure out how we're going to get through this big maze of carts. So I think that this traffic engineer is a terrific idea, because we might, who knows, we might have to put striping there just to help out without forget about the trailer. This is just bringing out all the other issues we have there that have been going on for a long time that we need to take care of. So I think that the process that Ann is going through is really a good process, because we're not looking at one thing. It's the ripple effect, like you said. It identified we have all these other issues to take care of also. So I think going through the process is the best way to deal with this.
I'm not sure that the chaos that we experienced during Twilight in the parking lot, which has been going on for how long? Twilight been going on? How many decades have we been doing Twilight? It is what it is. It's part of Rossmore. I mean, everybody that plays Twilight, to those who do play, and you're going down there, and that's part of the deal. You socialize with your people you haven't seen for a while. So you want to strike the parking lot?
I did not say that I said, I didn't know what the answer was,
Yeah,
but but it's bringing the answer to the surface that we got to figure out what we have to do.
I don't see that that's a problem that needs an answer. Right.
Now,
It makes the point though that, okay, you've got this chaos and then hackers do the same thing on a Saturday, on act, it's but that makes the whole point. Now, on top of everything we've got, now you're inviting people to come into that mix. It's like, come on, folks, come on into this chaos. It makes no sense.
Well, I just hope, let me just say, we can talk about this forever, but when you're doing the traffic study and so forth, can you please get input from somehow from the golf community, from Jackie?
Yeah, for the preliminaries, we'll be working with Jackie, but we'll bring everything here. So I think it's important for you guys to work.
All right, if there's any more. I think, see, we're done with new business. Oh, wait, items for future consideration. I'm thinking that we should consider something regarding this menu issue, which Alan has brought up before, in which the gentleman talked about this morning. And I know that on many of the dinners that I go to, when you sign up, vegetarian is an option. I'm not sure about other issues, but
I'd like to respond
yeah,
to some of it, if I may. Based on what Alan brought up previously, we have been able to get the Twilight menu. For the most part, I mean, people are able to now order things that are not necessarily being served at any. They're getting vegetarian and all free. There's a separate email that goes out. The problem occurs not with those dinners. The problem occurs when you have a home and home, or a home and home, or another type of an event where you have outsiders coming in. You cannot easily just say, okay, we're going to order a vegetarian for those who want vegetarian. We have unknowns that come into the. It's not an easy solution, and I've brought this up before our food and beverage people, and they kind of like look at me like to say, what the hell could we do? And I don't know the answer to that. Yeah,
Well, you have the event coming up, with the ladies' events. There's one that, I can't remember the exact name of it. It's a fun event, but there's a lunch involved. And there's no option when you register about, you need a special meal.
No, okay, that's something else. I mean, I'm speaking right now to what we're experiencing with the men's club. Because that was a big issue. In fact, Gary is the men's club member, so that's his issue from the men's. And we can handle, individual things for him when it comes to just for him, but when we have outside people and we have orders, menu across the board, it's impossible to handle it.
Right, but we have other members that have dietary constraints and issues. And when you don't even give them the option to let you know that they have an issue, then that's a problem.
Well, they do in Twilight.
Well, but that's Twilight. We have an event coming up, and I'll have to look it up to get the exact name. Laura Kelm sent out to save the date, whatever.
Mad Scramble.
Mad Scramble. And I registered for it. We registered, and there's no option to do anything about a special meal. And it should be there. You can't keep having people pay for a meal they can't eat.
Well, I mean, this is goes all throughout Rossmore. I mean, many of the clubs that I belong to, they have meals involved with the events. They do have an option for vegetarian. I'm not sure if they have for anything else, but I'm pretty sure it's 100% is for vegetarian. But that's only the ones that I'm familiar with. I don't know about everybody else. But just talking about the golf, I mean, we can, with the 4 clubs, can simply require that the caterers for their events provide for alternate meals. And if the caterer can't do it, I'll find a different caterer.
How many alternate meals?
Well, that's the other thing. How many?
There's an endless list of I can't eat this.
I
and
know.
can't eat that.
I agree.
And where does it end? It's a typical.
Can I make a point of order here? We should be putting this on the future agenda, not discussing it now.
Good point.
Good point. I'd like to put this on an item for future agendas for the next month. It's further discussion on alternate meals at golf events.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, the next meeting will be August 14th at 9 a.m. in this room, and we are adjourned.